On this episode of Getting Back into Comics, we're going to get back into Marvel. Now, when getting back into Marvel, I can't help but talk about the tone of Marvel and where they're going with some of their flagship characters. And I have to say, luckily, in what I've read so far, in this and in X-Men Gold, and the statements that have been made by the writer of X-Men Gold, that he is going to concentrate on being heroes and less about personal politics. All I have to say to those who like the flagship characters, and the people who love those flagship characters, Nanny nanny baby. Ha! 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 Magneto was right. No. Don't get me wrong here. Having gone through this book, though I was looking for a bit of the same thing, as they have had some characters and stories grow, I just wish that there was a little bit more, I don't know, even hand when it comes to the treatment of mutants. In a world that has such mythical, magical characters that come from anywhere and everywhere, and science and serums and mechanics, I still don't understand why mutants still have this stigma, or at least there would be less, kind of like, the Westboro Baptist Church, you would have that, but like most other people are like either keep it to themselves that they don't like mutants, or like, mutants, yeah, they're a thing, whatevs. Oh yeah, my cousin's a mutant. Because X-Men have always been an allegory for bigotry, prejudice, racism. I mean, that's nothing new. And that's what I expect to be tackled in most of my X-Men comics. And I think comics like the X-Men are where those politics are supposed to go. I mean, I just don't think that Squirrel Girl and who is this, America Chavez and Riri Williams, it's just so bad. Oh my God, I yearn, like when I left, one of the reasons I left is because they did this storyline where you got to see the Young Avengers before, like Riri and all these kids, like they like grew old and they were like a team, and then they just like split up in under like shaky reasoning. Like I guess like the writers were just kind of done, like we just don't want this character. And I'm like, man, you guys took the black male character and just had him walk off. I mean, that was a cool storyline. Had a big legacy to uphold, big shoes to fill. I mean, eventually we'll have to get back into that classic stuff. But anyway, today we're reviewing Generation X. Personally, I really like this. And I must say, I'm not one for kind of misleading cover art, but we do have different people that are doing the inside of the book than are doing the cover. I mean, these covers are beautiful. Just so lovely. The coloring, the shading. I love what they do with like the eye kid. Like, dude, this kid doesn't seem to like. I mean, we'll get into the comic book, but like, this is a badass cover. I mean, the full team, they all look like they're about to come at you. You know what I mean? So it looks like you just messed up real, real bad. And you're about to get an ass whipping. And I like that. I like looking at a comic and being like, yep, whooping, the hurt's coming on. So let's get right back into this comic. Well, in this one, we open up with, of course, we got the classic catching you up page. You know, as I reviewed, DC is doing a little something different, but they got the classic catch up page. You got your characters all down the side. We got Jubes, we got Bling, we got, oh, Kid Omega? Well, yeah, he was the rabble rouser that kind of, dare I say it, he was Black Lives Matter and regressive before Black Lives Matter and regressive were really a thing. I like how comics, like, almost like writers almost beat you to the punch, people. Makes you think, like, where'd they get it from? Who came first? The chicken or the egg? Whoa. But we got a couple of new characters here. Nature Girl, Morph. Morph? Morph? This one's for you, Morph! Oh, whoa. Oh, 90s flashback, sorry. Oh, whew, man, not a good legacy. Not a strong legacy. I'm gonna be counting the days for this character. Whew, just watch out for Sentinels. That's all I gotta say. Then, really, some chubby cheek dude called Hindsight. I think he even kind of looks like Captain Hindsight. This is wow. Okay, and then what? Eye Boy. I mean, what about like the Beholder or the Gaze? Okay, maybe not the Gaze. That's probably not. It's probably not the best. But Eye Boy. All right, I guess you name yourself. You do what you do. I'm interested to see what these kids do. I mean, some of them are self-explanatory, but anyway. But we got the classic intro, and you find out that Kitty Pryde is actually the head mistress of Xavier's school. That is a bold choice, but I mean, last time I was into comics, she, if I remember right, was cascading through space, attached to a bullet that she phased through the Earth so it wouldn't obliterate it. I mean, dude, only in comics, but now you know what? You do something like that, you're the head mistress. You do something like that, no, you literally save the world with your power on your own. You're the head mistress. Done. I get it. Good choice, y'all. Good choice. And she lived it. Good choice. But we open up with this comic. We're in Central Park. And isn't it pretty? But we have her looking, Jubilee, looking for some kid named Shigu. Or Shogo? Is it Shogo or Shigu? I don't know. Somebody tell me down in the comments. Point me to a video that says it right. I don't know. But we're gonna go Shigu because I like Shigu because it's a baby nut. It's a baby name. Shigu. But we're in Central Park and she's looking for this kid going over life as Jubilee and how it's been for a little while. And I mean, it's nice to catch up with the character. The art's a little odd. The angles, I think this artist has trouble with angles. It has a really familiar style that I can't put my finger on, but we'll keep going. But the only thing that kills me about this particular part of the comic book, and I'll just go over it real quick. They're in Central Park. It's obviously midday. I mean, absolutely noon. They're looking for a lost child. It's obviously not Peekaboo. Why are there no people or parents or cops in Central Park in the middle of the day not helping this obviously distressed woman looking for a kid? I mean, does everybody know that the kid's playing Peekaboo? It's not really implied well, because in the comic itself, I mean, she calls in Chamber to help look for the kid. And like, oh, cool, of course, everyone notices when like the kid's found and like the googity goo goo. Like the kid just like pulls down on Chambers' scarf, and Chambers an old character from the Generation X. From Generation X, and I think it's like psychic fire or something. I'm not sure. I'm more of a classic X-Men guy. Beast is my dude. But he pulls down the scarf and this fire erupts, and then like we got people that are like, whoa, there's some dude whose face is on fire, guys. We didn't have any time to like, help him look for a child, but we totally have time to like gawk at a spectacle only in New York. Derpy derp derp. I don't know. It just rubbed me wrong. And just like the art's just kind of like, it's just off-putting. It's getting to me in some way. But she has to call in her friend to find a child. No cops, no help, and and you could be like, well, it's because she's a mutant. I'm like, dude, she's not like Chamber or Beast or Nightcrawler. She is Jubilee. She's an Asian American. She's always drawn pretty flippin' cute. Thank you. And yeah, you probably, some like blushy dude or maybe even a single dad would run up like, hey, what's going on? I'll help you find your kid. Derp derp derp. Doing. Hey, the human condition is a thing. But yeah, finds the kid, and of course she's heading to the new Xavier Institute, which, I thought she was heading through Central Park, but no, not heading through Central Park, heading into Central Park where the X Mansion is now. Like what? Like who? That sounds like an absolutely horrible idea with kids' volatile powers, just experimenting in every way, both sexually and physically. Like, how many how many comics has there been X-Men just fighting X-Men just because they get pissed at each other, and like there's a beam that just like goes out the side of a building? It's just like, that's why you're out in some place that is just DBZ fictional nowhere, New York, upper state. Just, man, and this, wait a second. Dude, this art is totally Eon Flux in me. It's giving me this Eon Flux vibe. And I'm just, this art got to me so much from this point that I had to go through it. And yeah, I think this is very Eon Flux, and it hit me absolutely as Eon Fluxy at this point. It was number 3. It was the first page on number 3. Not too many spoilers, but like, dude, look at this. Cold meat, mutton pies. Tell me when your mother dies. I'll be there to bury her. Cold meat, mutton pies. Cold meat. Like, dude, total giving me the Eon Flux vibe. And it's a book called Generation X, and you're doing kind of an Eon Flux vibe. I don't know if that's purposeful. If it's purposeful, I like it. If you're trying to cop somebody's style, I don't like it. I'm going to choose to like it for now. For now. But this is actually pretty classic. I don't know if these people knew that I was getting back into comics, but this is a really cool catch-up of what's going on. We got new kids coming in, and they're just filing through. And I heard something about this character. He's like part of the Brood, but he's not part of the hive mind, so he gets all this like strength of a little bug guy, but he's like not really a bug guy. because like Wolverine was a teacher and had his own school at one time. Dude, I was not here. Things happened, and now there's a Brood just leading tours as if he was Beast. I kind of like him. I like the glasses on him. I think it's a good look. Don't go to contacts. It's a good look for you, son. But I actually like this panel very much so. Because, like, these characters that you see around are all characters that, like, came and went with other storylines. And they're obviously, like, they're seniors now, which is pretty cool. Like, oh, now these characters are seniors and whatnot. And they're just, like, getting to their classes. And you got this character right here that is coming in, learning about stuff. And, of course, he bumps some girl, and you get to see his powers, which he's total empath, gets a bit of her, and yeah, this chick is a cuckoo. One of the Stepford cuckoos, which I'm pretty sure they're like clones of the White Queen, who was also the head mistress of this place. I mean, I like the way they've done this, but she gets super snotty, but it's actually a pretty good play on high school. There's always like this, well, college, because this feels a lot more like college. But you always got some snotty rich person who's like, oh my god, or stuck up person who's like, I'm a senior, respect it, let me see your stuff. And, just wonderful, wonderful youthful interactions. Everything that I would expect from a Generation X comic. But of course, her being a creep, him getting hooked up with Morph, the kid who's gonna show him around and show him to his new class, and you get this really cool panel of Jubilee sitting down, and I have to say my favorite part of this one is like, because I do this when I get stressed out, where like she sits down like, hey, kitty, sorry I'm late. And she's like, oh no, no worries. Between budgeting, scheduling, invite only testing tours, or yeah, test tours, between Henry and Rachel, fighting over whether non-recyclable coffee pods are in the teacher's lounge are literally going to kill the world. Like this. I mean, it's just I love it. She's just stressed, but she's doing it with a smile on her face. Like, hey man, we got to keep the dream alive. Just to think that like now we have Jubilee and Kitty Pryde, two characters that were kids and really young mutants. They're now both like, hey, we're older. You're older. Yeah, we all have to go through that wonderfulness. But never lose your passions, kids. Never lose your passions. And of course, in the goofy upstart way, because dude, man, I don't even know what's going on with Jubilee. She in this comic book, she's drawn with fangs and without fangs. And I kind of read up that she was a vampire at one time and doesn't have her powers anymore. I'm just like, whoa, I just, wait one minuto. I just don't know what to think of all that, but she's now looking for a job, and of course, come on, man, you gonna give Jubilee a job. You know you're gonna give Jubilee a job. It's just a formality. It's your buddy. It's that nepotism that we love so much in America. Oh man. But of course, we got the classic, let's show everybody what's going on. All your friends, all your family. And of course, in classic style, you have these angsty college freshmen just whopping through walls, of course. Like, let me, of course, show you your class. Boom. It's just so... See, this is... Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta go in just a tiny bit. Like, this art versus that art is just it got to me. Me and a friend were reading this together, and we were like, you know what? I kind of, from Marvel at this point in their career, I kind of expect the entire comic to look like this. I get it. I get what you're doing. You got a budget and things. These people are probably very expensive, but you know, yeah, pony up, yo. But no, I mean, like I said, but like I said, once I saw the character, and I had some cold meat mutton pies, you know, and contacted my friends and let them know that I'd be there if anything happened to their loved ones. I'll be at their funerals. I grew to like it. It hit me with a nostalgia trip. Generation X, and it's a good comic. But yeah, I would definitely say this is a read. This is definitely a read. You get to learn, and this is where you give people new characters. I mean, I love things like amazing fantasy where you can actually get a story arc of like 5 to 10 issues and just meet a new character. See, throw some spaghetti at the wall, see if it sticks. It's good stuff if you can do things like that and rehash old characters, introduce them again in a new light. Maybe you'll like him a little bit more. And I do like him. Like, this kid is totally the rich douche kid, and he's talking about dude, you stepped on my shoes, and it's like, what? They're what do they say? She calls him, Bling calls him like old man shoes, and she's like, yeah, it's like $10,000 old man shoes, because you find out in this comic book and in this exchange that I'm flipping past pretty quickly that he funded a lot of this school to be rebuilt because it got teleported here and a lot of things got wrecked and plumbing had to be established and things had to be paid for an entire building to just be like, yeah, it's going to be in Central Park right now. People would be like, wait, what? You're going to put what where? And he's like, no, Omega level mutant gazillionaire. It's happening. And we're seeing how it goes. Let's hope that none of this fighting goes through an outside wall. Just doesn't feel right. Ugh. But yeah, you get introduced to the personality of least Bling and Quentin Quire. The other characters, Morph seems to be kind of like the snotty cuckoo. Is like, he's bland as milquetoast, and yeah, he is. He doesn't have his morphing powers under control, and he's just kind of a shy freshman. And of course, this guy is I'm thinking this is Captain Hindsight here that we're rocking with. But though he has silver hair, let's get in here. Yeah, that's Captain Hindsight. Which, wait, you're telling me, once again, this guy right here who's putting on the rogue gloves, that guy, you're telling me that is also that guy? That guy. And that guy. Right. But hey, the story grows on you because it's a really sweet coming together of your friends. Hey, now everybody that you know is part of the faculty. We got new kids coming in and out at the wazoo. And of course, we have the same old fights over dumb stuff, and we wrecked walls, and just in classic fashion. Just like Professor Xavier would do. Kitty comes in and literally phases her shoe into somebody's butt like, dude, this is over. You're not going to squabble over this dumb stuff. You're all too powerful for this. You can literally wreck the school if you wanted to do stuff. And you know, this is cute. I like the catch-up. And I like that even though these characters are supposed to be like, well, we're faculty now, it's like, well, it's a zany new faculty. You know, now Boy Meets World and Tobanga are the teachers. Wacky. But I like it. I think it's done good natured. It's fun. It's in the tone and scope of the X-Men. And, whoa, I'm, to be honest, don't not seeing any to many tones of social justice in this at all. It's a classic story. Of course, the rich brat becomes rich brat pouty as rich pouty brats get rich and pouty. But of course, in the scuffle, in Captain Hindsight, who is not, you know, some super duper omega mutant. I mean, you're seeing his powers all through this book. You're getting a little bit of dialogue here and there about each character who's introducing themselves, and he's like, I'm not invulnerable. If I wanted to get beat up, I wouldn't have come here. This is stupid. You know, this is just. And of course, everybody's like, wow, we made a really, really, really wonderful impression on the kid. And it's like, yeah, guys, can you maybe tone it down? But, you know, every generation, kids have to go through this. This is not something that kids don't have to go through. You know, you act like jackasses. You realize, like, dang, I was being a jackass. And you're like, you actually become a better person. You have flaws. And then you get over them. You become better. It's what you do as a person and as a hero. And as an X-Man. But of course, Jubilee showing you why she's here. You know, and like this is a family. You know, we're rough around the edges. Everybody's got a little bit of angst, but this is where we believe you belong. Like, you know, just give us a chance to wow you. And of course, in true fashion, which is another reason why you do not set up a school in the middle of Central Park. Who busts in but the old villains, the Purifiers, which is a Catholic group of religious-based, I think it's Catholic, but of course the cross is, but religious-based, kill all mutants, mutants are bad, and wait, look, see the Nana Nana Boo Boo, see who that is, see what that is? A bad black guy, a guy who's brown, and he's not a good guy, because there's a lot of, you know, holy blessings, holy rolling blessings on you in the black neighborhoods. And if there was a Catholic oh yeah, we're Catholics with ray guns and we're going up against people with superpowers for the righteous fights, you know, there'd be some people cocking a gun to the side like, I'm down. I used to be a thug, but I'm saved now. Let's do this. Let me show y'all what I got. But yeah. You know, they don't seem to be like, oh, hey, every character's perfect. Bling is, you know, African American. I'm pretty sure an African American mutant. She's not absolutely perfect. Black person, who's absolutely not perfect. People with flaws, people growing. There seems to be a lot of potential. I'm digging this. I know this has been a kind of a long video, but I think that it kind of needed to be. I mean, politics in art is supposed to be clever, subtle, not ham-fisted, not pounded into your face. And this is done well. I truly, truly look forward to reviewing more of Generation X and X-Men Gold. But I gotta say, I'm really, really enjoying getting back into comics.